Raymundo, will you hit that intro, buddy? You nervous?
On the Bobby Bones Show
fumble
now.
Fingers.
Sam Hunt.
Hey, Sam. Good to hear it. Good to see you, buddy. The microphone is in your chair over there, and you should be able to hear Ray mess up a few times. You good, Ray?
Yep.
Yeah. Ray, good to see you, man.
You too, Bob.
Yeah.
How are you?
Real good. I was pumped because I saw your tour, and one of our really good friends is going on the road with you, George Burge. That's like our dude. Like, it's awesome.
Really?
Yeah, like, love him. We were talking with your old football coach, and this was a whole situation where we're talking to Ty Helton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
How'd y'all run into him?
Well, we ran into him. We were up at Western Kentucky working out with the team.
Oh,
and so he's the
okay.
head coach there now.
Yeah.
And he said, was he your quarterback's coach? Your offensive coordinator? What was he?
Yeah, he was. He was the quarterback's coach, and then also helped out with the offense. So his dad was a long-time legendary coached there at UAB when I was there, and then Tyson, his son, was the quarterback coach. Yeah, so he was not that much older. He was older than us, but he was
Barely.
younger. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so we're hanging out, and he said, hey, you ever talk to Sam? I said, yeah, sometime. So Tyson's the Hilltoppers head coach now. And
Is he the head coach?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's crushing. And he said, tell him I said what up and give him my number. And I was like, I don't really know how to handle this right now. But he sent along his regards. Would you still?
Yeah, I'd like to get his number.
Oh,
from
we
him,
got it
because
then. Good. That's not
Okay.
awkward
Oh,
then.
thank goodness.
No, not at
We can
all.
give you his number then. Because I was like, I don't know. I'll tell Sam you want his number. But you're good?
Yeah, we absolutely.
Cool. Good. Now,
Yeah,
my
we
job is
stayed in
done.
touch for a long time, and then after life got crazy, several years after I moved to Nashville, I've not talked to a lot of folks from my past life.
Did you have to change your number?
I have a couple times.
Yeah.
Because of people like, I don't know, stalkers, Ray? I mean, anybody, like people like that?
No, I don't remember. I changed. Actually, I had the same number until about 5 years ago, and I've changed it twice since then. And I get overwhelmed a little bit
Well,
at
then
times.
would you
'cause I give out
rather-
my number to everybody.
Us give you his number or give him your number?
Either one. I'll take it. I'll take his number from you.
Okay, we'll do
But
that.
I wouldn't.
Here he is
wouldn't
talking about how he's like, I just tend to give my number out to anybody, and then I get overwhelmed.
Yeah, I felt that.
Well,
Sam,
I have all this guilt for unanswered text messages, and I am bad with text messages, and then so that guilt sort of weighs on me. And anyway,
do you have
after
the red
years of that-
dots? Like lots of red dots? Are you that guy, or do you clear them all off?
No, they're in there.
So
like-
you don't even open them. So your guilt is not that you open them and then don't respond or forget to respond. It's that you just never open them.
No, a lot of times I'll see them while I'm driving, or I'll be in the middle of a writing session, or I'll be in the studio, and I'll see the text come in, and I look at it, and I'm like, okay, I think to myself, I'll get back to that.
to 'em.
Yeah, and then it just adds up.
My problem is if people text me at like 10:30 p.m., even 9:30, if I'm asleep because I have to wake up so early on the weekdays, I'll see it at 3:30, and I'm like, I can't reply now because I'll wake them up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't even think back about it at
Yeah.
11 because I've already moved past it.
I know, and I'm sort of ADD, so if I'm in a frame of mind or in a state of mind and I've got some focus going, if I entertain a conversation that is about something completely different, then whatever I was thinking about is gone, and now I'm in the world of this text message conversation. So
Do you think you can write a song about anything and it'd be good?
no, definitely not. That's why it's so hard for me to put out music, because there's only, I feel like the sweet spot for what I can write about or what would work for me is so small that a lot of ideas come along that I'll pass on them or think, that's just not a good idea for me. But there's probably plenty of guys in Nashville who could write those ideas, and they end up great songs.
The legacy of Sam Hunt, the writer, is that you are much more of a perfectionist or someone who needs to sit with it a lot longer than the average songwriter. Would you say there's truth to that?
Yeah, I think I got that reputation during about a 3-year period where I was probably overthinking, and I wrote my first album and had some success with it, and then I should have been writing while I was on the road, but I was touring for 2 years, not writing at all. So when I went back in to write, I was trying to figure out exactly what I had done on the first album that was made it successful, and so I think I started overthinking that and trying to get a little too formulaic and breaking everything down into this sort of math problem.
You kind of got in
instead
your head a little bit?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you still in that spot where you need to live with it for days and days and days?
No, I've stepped back away from that. I tend to just move forward now, which is the approach of most songwriters who I write with. It's just keep going, get the song written, and that tends to be more productive if you zoom out and look at it long term.
Body Like a Backroad, one of those you took a long time and kept rewriting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, the silliest song I have.
But it's not. Sure, it's silly in that,
Well,
but still, you had to find the exact. That song's got to make you feel or envision certain things.
That was the problem. Was there was so many ways to miss, and then that was one where if I missed by an inch, I'd miss by a mile, and so it was a delicate tightrope walk, and so I had to get it just right. So
did you feel like it was just right, or did you go, I can't hold on to this any longer?
A little bit of both.
Yeah,
I finally got. I didn't want to have any lines or sections that didn't match the rest of the song and feel like the same character, but also feel like it just came out, because I wanted it to feel like it just came off the top of my head, but it took more thought and effort to get it to make it feel like that. It kept feeling overwritten. Every line early on was like a reference to the Backroad, and it was like just felt overwritten and too cute. So I had to find that sweet spot. It took a little while.
Especially when I've written books, or even a joke, if I live in it so long, I lose whatever I thought was good about it. Like I can't identify it anymore. Yeah. Like if I'm writing a joke and I'm like, man, I don't even know if this is funny because I've just been inside of it so long. Or the book too, I'm like, I hate it because I don't. Do you do that with songs where you're in it so much you can't even identify what was good to you at first?
Yeah, and that's the argument against taking too much time with something and trying to just overthinking it, is that there will come a point where you can't see it anymore and you lose perspective, and so that initial burst of inspiration, it's almost better, I think, to try to mine that for all you can early on while you've got that, while you can really see it, and instead of sleeping on it and coming back to it weeks later.
Locked Up Tour, you guys get tickets at samhunt.com. Russell Dickerson, George Burge on the Canadian run, which we're in a bunch of Canadian places too. Shout out Dalton Dover. Kicks off June 28th, and it's in a lot of cities the show is in. June 28th in Bend, Oregon. You're up doing that Northwest, coming all the way through. I guess my question is, I went and watched John Mayer's acoustic tour, which I'm a big John Mayer fan. Like that's like the first songwriter I ever heard speak for me, not just to me, but for me. I'm like, oh, when you see a good comedian, you're like, oh, I thought that. I just didn't think of it like that. Mm-hmm. He was the first person that I ever heard write a song, and I was like, oh, I've always thought that. I just know how to say it.
His lyrics are really thoughtful, and guys like that those are the guys that make me overthink lyrics. There's a bar there that some of the guys like that set, and you always feel like you're not.
People do that to you too in the same way, right? They're like, well, Sam's the bar because he will spend all this time getting it perfect. We all have a bar, and we're all somebody else's bar too. And it's just not to be driven crazy by the friggin' bar. Yeah,
right. And we all value, it's subjective, and we value different things. Some songwriters they want the melody to be fantastic and want it to feel and flow. I've always been attracted to the lyrics, and John Mayer has some great lyrics.
He did the acoustic tour, and it was super cool. And I wondered, but I am a massive fan, like what it was going to be like with him just up there with the guitar and really nothing else. I feel like that kind of show that would be awesome for you to do. Would you ever do that? Just go out and go, it's me and a guitar. Let's go.
Yeah, I've thought about that.
No overhead.
He's a fantastic guitar player. I don't know if I could carry a show with just me, but if I had a couple partners with me to play, maybe a trio or something, that could work potentially. I thought about that. Yeah, like doing theaters, maybe throwing some old covers.
Are people surprised at you? Because if they just have heard a few songs on the radio, let's say they're not a massive Sam Hunt fan or even a massive country music fan, but they're just a casual of both or either, are they sometimes surprised at like how country you actually are? Because you are. I mean, you're literally like, you grew up in it, give you a guitar, you can play it all. Do you find people like, oh, you actually are that dude? Yeah,
I think it comes out, I guess, and people are surprised. I think people have preconceived notions. I think about it sometimes. I guess I grew up country, but I grew up Southern country, and there's so many shades of country in the South.
There's classic rock, which is a big part of country.
Yeah.
And in the South too, hip hop's a massive, I mean, even for me in Arkansas, well, it's streaming music though, right? Like the generation above us, they only could get it at stores.
Yeah.
And so regionally, there would only be a dominant amount of whatever was big. But like you're seeing folks now that are in their mid 30s, late 30s, early 40s, who had the opportunity to be influenced and affected by everything.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of what I feel like at times your music isn't in the greatest way. But I think sometimes people are like, Sam Hunt like is really country, and they're surprised by it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always like, I told you.
Yeah, I never. There's so many themes that in country that we push really, really hard, and the country boy lifestyle like that gets pushed really hard, and it's almost sometimes feels like it's a signal to that group to say, hey, I am one of you, and it feels pandery and like like me
when
and
they
accept
name
me.
check certain artists, it's very pandery.
Yeah, there's an element of that. So I've always been, I guess, tried to avoid that and probably gone a little too far out of my way to avoid it. But
The new EP that just came out. So 4 songs. Outskirts is on it, which we're going to play coming up in just a second. But the other 3 songs, Locked Up, a really personal song. It's going to be with people you really trust. We set that aside for when you're going to be with people like Shane McAnally.
yeah, I essentially, I love branching out and writing with new folks, but for the most part, because of that relationship, you just can't replace a 10-year relationship overnight. So for the most part, I still just write with the two or three folks. And luckily, we have that long-term relationship, and we've talked about everything under the sun.
Yeah, I'd be worried like to get too personal with somebody I don't really know, because like, what are they going to take out and tell their buddies?
Yeah, right.
Like that's what.
Right, and it just
Those are not like HIPAA.
No, there's not HIPAA and songwriting rooms. There should be. There absolutely should be. Let me hear a little bit of Country House Ray.
yeah, that one was one. So we talked about Body Like a Backroad. One of the things I learned from that song is that there are people out there that just want to hear a lighthearted, easygoing song that's easy to sing to and that puts a smile on their face. So I've leaned into that since then, and this is one of those songs that I don't know, that fits that bill.
It's funny, we talked about John Mayer, but he was in, and him and I talked for like half an hour, and we were talking about songs that are like that. And he's like, the songs that people mostly connect with are not the ones I spent the most time on. He was talking about Waiting on the World to Change, and he was like, that song feels like I just wrote it and was like generic.
Yeah.
And he goes, but that's the one that people most connect with. And at times, as he said, that sometimes you can get in your head so much about creating something that is so revolutionary that then nobody relates to it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That desire to validate yourself as an artist I think is in anybody who does anything creative. And, but that's ego. And once you feel that in a song, and it feels trying, it can be, it's not lost on the listener. So, hopefully I'm capable of writing some of those songs at times when they come out naturally that they can be what they're supposed to be. But I think I took for granted songs like lighthearted songs that are families. And, I see we have a lot of kids at our shows now, which is interesting. And they're songs like this, that my brother can put on in the car with all his kids, and they can all sing along to it. So there's something to be said for that too.
I got a song. I'm just looking for the right person to write it with. It's called Rural Plural Murals. It's the hardest sing-along ever, and nobody really has the ability or the they really don't have the guts to write it with me. Have they yet, Eddie?
That's it. That's guts.
So what I wanted to
Listen
write was
that.
the hardest ever. It's about driving in the country.
Rural, plural
murals.
Plural,
rural murals, whichever one. But it's like multiple murals in a rural city, and all of a sudden you're just affected. You're like, all right, you sing it rural, plural, everybody gets so. I don't know if that's. Just think about it. Just keep that on the back
that's
burner.
the song for you.
Yeah, but you're you're a great songwriter, written for other people. Well. So if something like comes to you, like a good melody for rural plural murals.
Yeah, I'll think on that.
Yeah, because that's one of those. That's one of those next level ones.
I can't tell if it's got a ring to it or the opposite.
Both at the same time.
Yeah, that's right.
It's so next level.
Yeah,
it's so simple with a ring, but no ring at all. Yeah, take that out of here.
Blowing my mind.
A little bit of last hurrah. Or do you put out the new music so people can go, oh, cool, let's put out some new stuff. We'll also get to see him do a few new songs.
Yeah, I mean, putting out new music, I try to put out as much as I can.
Were you thinking about plural murals when I asked you that question?
Yeah.
He was already in it. I could see. He was trying to write the song there in his head. Yeah, go ahead.
The biggest thing was putting out, I wanted to put out a new album, but it probably would, if I had put out all the songs at once, it would be about right now before I had gotten them all done and out. So I've been putting this album out a little bit at a time, and I have the last 3 songs ready now. So this is really me putting out the last bit of what has been an album over a year and a half. But I didn't want to put out all those songs as an album because 7 of them have already come out, and I feel like my fan base is already sort of rolling their eyes at how little music I put out, and to put out songs as an album that have already been out just didn't quite feel like it would land very well.
What do you think you can max out bench press? Because I know what I can.
Oh man,
One
what
rep.
could I-
We don't even do that anymore. But
I'd probably, if I tried it, my shoulders would probably both blow out. But I don't know.
So
I'm
we
not
have
sure.
Sam and I have the same trainer. We train at a time right by each other. I mean, we're the same size. I don't know why we just don't train together because we probably lift the same weights, you know.
That's true. We should.
Yeah, but I what I throw up, Eddie, like 260.
Yeah, about.
Wow.
Don't worry about me though. It's only on Instagram. Don't worry about me though.
Does that
you put-
mean like one press?
Yeah, one.
Yeah,
Max
one.
out.
One.
Like a lot of plates, bars bending basically.
Wow, that's two big plates and what, like
I have so many. I
tens?
couldn't even count it. There was
Yeah.
I was counting the murals.
The plural.
well, at least
Plural.
Klug is doing his job. He's got you up to 260.
Where you at, Sam?
Yeah, where you at?
I don't know.
That's how you know someone's really strong or really good at what they do. They don't even need to say. They're just like,
Doesn't want to make you feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to guess, and then I get in there. I always overestimate my strength. I don't know where I would be.
You have any injuries from playing ball that still hurt, like when it rains?
Yeah, I have. I had 2 back surgeries in college.
Still bother you when the weather gets a little funky?
They kind of bother me all the time. But yeah, certain times of year, I don't know if it's the weather or my, trying to do too much in the gym. But yeah, I've got to sort that out at some point. I think the next step is to do the Tiger Woods surgery. Apparently, is what the
What's
doctor told me.
that?
It's like they fuse your discs together, which is I don't want to do that.
Sam, big fan, obviously. Thanks for playing our show for St.
Yeah.
Jude, which I was, listen, it's super cool. Thank
I
you.
appreciate y'all having me again.
Yeah, and then the tour, samhunt.com, all the tickets are up there, and there are a million places that we're on that you can hear us, and I would get tickets as fast as you can because I just heard what's that? Oh, they're almost sold out. They got in my ear right now. They're almost, what's that? Some of them are sold out.
For Wednesday night.
No, I don't know, dude. I'm talking about your.
Oh, our tour. I thought you were talking about the $1 Million
No,
show.
I'm talking about
yeah.
Plural
That's already
Murals again?
happened.
What else?
It's sold out.
Wednesday night.
Yeah, yeah.
I
we-
figured that.
Yeah, that already happened.
Yeah, my brother's coming for that.
In
Yeah,
reality,
that's why.
it's actually, we're recording this the day before the show,
Right.
but we're acting like it already happened.
Right.
Oh,
It's
my
tough.
bad.
Yeah, which, by the way, you crushed it,
Dadgummit.
man. You crushed
Right,
it.
you did great.
But I don't know why everybody started flashing us. It was weird for you to, like,
When are you
as soon
talking
as you
about?
got up at the show Wednesday night, everybody just
Oh,
started,
yeah.
all the dudes started flashing us, and I was like, why
Never
are they
seen
doing-
that before.
No, it's
Yeah.
weird,
Pretty
Sam.
cool.
It's crazy, man.
Heaven forbid.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid.
If Ray were to sum up
Oh boy.
Sam's show in one word for people, like
Yeah.
if they're gonna go see his show, like what's Ray's one word?
What's it about, Ray?
Old school meets new.
One word.
One word.
Well, no, it's tough. One word's tough, though.
Magical.
Yeah, I would
Enticing.
say. I would say electrifying.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll take that
I
one.
knew he could do it.
Because
like-
he's got some bangers from the old time, and I know he's going to bring probably maybe some of these new ones. So I mean, yeah, I think it'll be a good mix of them both. It was a good mix of them both.
What about Sam is awesome to you? 'Cause you bring him up a lot.
Well, I told you guys back in the day, he started the baggy shirt movement. He was one of the first people to ever do it, where he wore the shirt down to his knees. And so I didn't have any of those shirts, so I would wear like cut off shirts underneath my actual hang shirt, so it'd be even longer. And my wife eventually, the girlfriend back then, just said, "Stop wearing your shirts like Sam Hunt."
So all that was because of a long shirt? All this?
I mean, he's the one that started it
no,
across
I hear you,
America.
but I'm
it
saying
was
the
Sam
shirt-
Hunt, and then I saw him do it, so I started doing it, and then T-Babe started doing it upstairs, and then it spread across the country.
Yeah. But I'm saying it's just a shirt thing.
It was the shirt. I mean, that was his swag. So his clothing, and then his music was good as well. But he had an aura,
Yeah.
and you could just feel it in his shows. And like, I wanted to ask you this one quick thing.
Yeah.
So, do you remember the Dave and Buster's show, like back in 2014 in Nashville? I mean, it was a venue way too small for you. And dude, there were cop cars. There was security called in. Dudes were flipping tables. I think that's really where you started to feel how big you were. That you were bigger than the venues you were playing in, right?
Yeah, that's the first time I'd seen any like excitement from people about the music, and it was it was outside the Dave and Buster's, and I think you're right. That was because I mean I hang out at that mall. I go to that mall all the time, and so I'm standing there all the time, and then I'm in that same environment, and then there are barriers, and lots of people in the parking lot, and everybody's singing along to the song. So that was a wild moment.
Dude, that's where I got the first taste, and I was like,
Oh my God! Don't say you got the first taste, dude. See, it was all good. Like we felt it. It was pretty good, mature. But first taste feels weird.
First taste of
The
love.
best part
I didn't
about
hear it,
that,
But he's right here to say first taste. Yeah.
that time in Ray's life is on Instagram. He posted this photo of David Buster's 2014. He's like, me and Sam. But it's like Ray in the front of the picture, and then all these people, and then Sam is in the very back, and he's like circling Sam's head, and he's like, my first photo with Sam.
Yeah,
So that's where it started.
Yeah, I never met him. And then I went to your show in 2017 in Nashville at Ascend. And that's when you would run through the audience. You still do at your shows. And it was insane. I reached my hand out, got a high five. And I mean, girls
You
were
touched him during the show?
Yeah. And because he came right by my row and I was with my friends and they're all like, oh my gosh, you touched Sam Hunt. And girls were ripping his shirt and stuff.
Yeah.
And you still do that to this day. You run in the crowd at your last show at Bridgestone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a security thing. dude.
Yeah.
A lot of artists
I'm a lot
do
bigger
that,
than
right?
most of the crowds,
like that,
most
like
of my
that.
fans.
So 2017, that was his second taste?
I don't know. I don't know how many tastes he's had, to be honest
Well,
with
then you went away a little bit. You had a little Dave Chappelle moment where you weren't touring.
Mm-hmm.
You went
What's
to-
your,
I
Ray,
went
what's
back
your
to
favorite
Africa.
song of all time in your life? Favorite song, not just period, all music that's ever been invented.
it's definitely Sam.
Yeah, which one? Okay, so it is a Sam
I mean,
song.
the one that made me leave downtown, I lived on First Avenue in Demumbrian and Broadway. I moved from downtown to West because of your song Downtown's Dead. Because I was like, I got to get out of the city.
I never know if I can believe
No,
that.
I
Like,
He's from-
I thought that your building was getting demolished.
Well, that too.
Okay, look, here's what I want to say. A couple
gosh.
things. The tour, the Locked Up tour, starts in June. Tickets at samhunt.com. The new EP is Locked Up. It just came out. And, Ray is a massive fan, but we're going to leave that boundary, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, we chilled in Vegas together. We chilled in Nashville together. We're
I don't
chilling
think
again
it's
today.
chilling together if you have to get a pass to go meet him.
No, we were hanging out, dude.
Oh, I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ray, I guess, messaged Sam on Instagram with like on a snow day or something. Do you remember seeing that, Sam?
I did see that, yeah.
Did you really want him to come over? Because he said he was going to like bring a sixer. What was it?
Yes, I was
Yeah,
going
I
to bring
didn't
Bailey's for
know
the
if-
ladies.
Yeah. I didn't know if he would take me up on it or not, but I didn't think he would. But if he'd shown up, then yeah, we could have made a day of it for
Oh my
sure.
God, Sam, don't.
Oh my gosh. He will.
He'll talk about this for 6 months now. Okay. The new EP's Locked Up. Obviously, the tour's the Locked Up tour. Sam Hunt, and go to samhunt.com to get tickets to the show. Sam, appreciate you, buddy. Thank you very
Thank
much.
y'all very much.
Ray, you did
Appreciate
pretty
you
good.
guys.
It took a minute for it to come out, but you got your taste. Huh?
That was dope.
That's dope. Yeah. All right, there you go. Sam Hunt, everybody. Nice job.
Thank y'all.
It's a Bobby Bones Show.